Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Valsa Williams and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates and lays foundation stone of development projects worth 11,581 crore rupees in Himachal Pradesh, says pace of development accelerated in every sphere. Completed section of Kanpur Metro and other development projects in Kanpur to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister tomorrow, to also attend 54th convocation ceremony of IIT Kanpur. Election Commission to review preparedness and arrangements for the upcoming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Guidelines issued for COVID-19 vaccination of children between 15 to 18 years and healthcare and frontline workers, along with senior citizens with comorbidities. Names of children between 15 to 18 years can be registered on CoWIN platform from Saturday. Night curfew to be imposed in Delhi from tonight in view of increasing cases of COVID-19. First 3-day Kashi Indian International Film Festival begins in Varanasi. And in cricket, second day's play between India and South Africa and Centurion washed off due to rain. Hockey India names 60 players for senior women's national camp at Sports Authority of India, Bengaluru. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause for concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said the people of Himachal Pradesh have got huge benefits from the double-engine government as the pace of development in the state has accelerated in every sphere. He was addressing a public meeting at Paddal Maidan in Mandi district on the completion of 4 years of the BJP government. He said if the same party is in power at the centre and in the state, the speed of development projects and implementation of different welfare schemes get momentum. While congratulating Chief Minister Jairam Thakur on the 4th anniversary of his government, Mr. Modi said the huge gathering at this ground, despite the cold weather, shows that the people of the state are satisfied with 4 years' achievements of the state government. Earlier, the Prime Minister also dedicated and laid foundation stones of development projects worth 11,581 crore rupees. These include the foundation stone for the Dhaula Sidh Hydropower Luri Phase 1 hydroelectric project and Renukaji Dam projects, while the Sauda Kuddu hydroelectric project was inaugurated.
यहाँ थोड़ी देर पहले 11,000 करोड़ रुपए की लागत वाले 4 बड़े हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिक प्रोजेक्ट का शिलान्यास या फिर लोकार्पण भी किया गया है। इनसे हिमाचल की आय बढ़ेगी और रोजगार के हजारों अवसर भी बढ़ेंगे। सावड़ा कुड्डू प्रोजेक्ट हो, लूहरी प्रोजेक्ट हो, धौला सिद्ध प्रोजेक्ट हो या रेणुका जी प्रोजेक्ट, ये सभी हिमाचल की आकांक्षा और देश की आवश्यकता की पूर्ति दोनों के माध्यम से होने वाली है।
The Prime Minister congratulated the Himachal government for eliciting the people's cooperation in successful completion of 4 years of service and achievement. He said the central and state governments have taken several historic steps towards raising the standard of living of people.
आज डबल इंजन की सरकार के भी 4 साल पूरे हुए। सेवा और सिद्धि के इन 4 सालों के लिए हिमाचल के जनता जनार्दन को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं और इतनी बड़ी तादाद में और ऐसी कड़ाके की ठंड में हम सबको आशीर्वाद देने के लिए आना, इसका मतलब ही है कि इन 4 साल में हिमाचल को तेज गति से आगे बढ़ते हुए आपने देखा है।
Emphasizing on a nationwide campaign against single-use plastic, the Prime Minister called for a joint effort to keep the environment clean. He congratulated the state government on achieving 100% target of double dose of COVID vaccine in Himachal. Mr. Modi said India had set a target in 2016 to meet 40% of its installed electricity capacity from non-fossil energy sources by 2030. And today, every Indian will be proud that India has achieved this goal in November this year itself.
हमारी सरकार का ईज ऑफ लिविंग मॉडल पर्यावरण के प्रति सचेत और पर्यावरण की रक्षा करने में भी मदद कर रहा है। आज यहां जो हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट का शिलान्यास और लोकार्पण हुआ है, वो भी क्लाइमेट फ्रेंडली न्यू इंडिया की तरफ देश का एक मजबूत कदम है।
On the occasion, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a lot to Himachal Pradesh. He said that AIIMS, PGI and many hospitals and educational institutes have been established in the state under the leadership of the Prime Minister.
आज यहाँ पर मोदी जी ने लगभग 28,197 करोड़ रुपए की सेकंड ग्राउंड ब्रेकिंग सेरेमनी की है। हिमाचल में इन्वेस्टमेंट का दूसरा दौर है। पहला 13,488 करोड़ रुपए का फर्स्ट ग्राउंड ब्रेकिंग अमित भाई शाह जी ने की थी, नड्डा जी ने की थी। वहीं पर धौला स्थित प्रोजेक्ट 66 मेगावाट का 688 करोड़ का, ये 12 नहीं 15 साल से पेंडिंग पड़ी परियोजनाएं थी, तो ये भी हिमाचल के लिए मंजूर कर दी गई है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Kanpur tomorrow to inaugurate the completed section of Kanpur Metro Rail project. During the program, Mr. Modi will also inaugurate the Bina-Panki multi-product pipeline project. Prior to this, the Prime Minister will attend the 54th convocation ceremony of IIT Kanpur. The completed section of the Kanpur Metro Rail project is 9 kilometers long section from IIT Kanpur to Moti Jheel. Mr. Modi will inspect the Kanpur Metro Rail project and undertake a ride from IIT Metro Station to Geeta Nagar. The entire length of the Metro Rail project in Kanpur is 32 kilometers and it is being built at a cost of over 11,000 crore rupees. The Prime Minister will inaugurate the Bina-Panki multi-product pipeline project also. The 356 kilometers long project has a capacity of around 3.45 million metric tons per annum. Extending from Bina Refinery in Madhya Pradesh to Panki in Kanpur, the project has been built at a cost of over 1,500 crore rupees. It will help the region access petroleum products from the Bina Refinery. The Prime Minister will be the chief guest of the 54th convocation of IIT Kanpur. During the convocation, all the students will be issued digital degrees through an in-house blockchain-driven technology developed at the institute under the National Blockchain Project. The Prime Minister will launch the blockchain-based digital degrees. These digital degrees can be verified globally and are forgeable. More from our correspondent.
IIT Kanpur will be hosting physical convocation after a year, as last year it was held virtually. This will be the first time in India where a convocation will be conducted inside the bio bubble. On the occasion, a total of 1,723 students will be receiving their degrees and 80 prizes and medals will be given. 21 students will also be awarded the Outstanding PhD Thesis Award in the second session of the convocation. Moreover, 3 honorary doctorate degrees will also be given to 3 eminent personalities, Professor Rohini M. Godbole, Senapati Krish Gopal Krishnan and Pandit Ajay Chakravarti. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Kanpur.
Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan today briefed the Election Commission on the COVID-19 situation in states where assembly elections are scheduled to be held early next year. On the 23rd of December, the Health Secretary directed the poll-bound states to exponentially ramp up vaccination, especially in the low-coverage districts, to protect the vulnerable population. In the backdrop of the highly infectious Omicron variant detected in several pockets of the country, the Commission sought updates from Mr. Bhushan on the COVID-19 situation and the emergence of the Omicron variant. Mr. Bhushan, during the review meeting with all states, also raised the red flag that pockets with low vaccination coverage may be more vulnerable to the new Omicron variant and that district administrations have to pay special attention to ramp up vaccination in these pockets. Elections are expected in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur early next year. The Election Commission, led by Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra, will be on a 3-day visit to Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. The team will review the preparedness and arrangements for the upcoming assembly elections in the state. After arrival in Lucknow tomorrow, the Election Commission will interact with the representatives of various political parties.
COVID-19 vaccination of children in the age group of 15 to 18 years will begin from 3rd of January 2022. For these beneficiaries, the option of vaccination will be only Covaxin. The Union Health Ministry today issued guidelines for COVID-19 vaccination of children and precaution dose to healthcare workers, frontline workers and for citizens above 60 years with comorbidities. The ministry said all those aged 15 years or more will be able to register on CoWIN from the 1st of January. The guidelines said beneficiaries can self-register online through an existing account on CoWIN or can also register by creating a new account through a unique mobile number. The appointment of vaccination can be booked online or walk-in. Earlier, in his address to the nation on the 25th of this month, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had announced that the COVID-19 vaccination for children aged 15 to 18 years will start from the 3rd of next month. He also announced for precaution dose to healthcare workers, frontline workers and for citizens above 60 years with comorbidities from the 10th of January.
प्रिकॉशन की दृष्टि से सरकार ने निर्णय लिया है कि हेल्थ केयर और फ्रंटलाइन वर्कर्स को वैक्सीन की प्रिकॉशन डोज भी प्रारंभ की जाए। इसकी शुरुआत 2022 में 10 जनवरी सोमवार के दिन से की जाएगी। 60 वर्ष से ऊपर की आयु के कोमॉर्बिडिटी वाले नागरिकों को उनके डॉक्टर की सलाह पर वैक्सीन की प्रिकॉशन डोज का विकल्प उनके लिए उपलब्ध होगा। ये भी 10 जनवरी से प्रारंभ होगा।
The prioritization and sequencing of this precaution dose will be based on the completion of 9 months or 39 weeks from the date of administration of the second dose. All citizens, irrespective of their income status, are entitled to free COVID-19 vaccination at government vaccination centers. Those who have the ability to pay are encouraged to use private hospitals' vaccination centers. Over 141 crore 73 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. India's COVID-19 active caseload currently stands at 75,841. The recovery rate is currently at 98.40%, which is the highest since March last year. Over 7,141 recoveries have been reported in the last 24 hours. A total of 6,531 new Omicron cases were reported during the same period. Over 67 crore 29 lakh total tests have been conducted so far. 578 cases of Omicron have been reported in the country so far.
Night curfew will be imposed in Delhi from tonight in view of increasing cases of COVID-19 in the city. It will be effective from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. However, during curfew hours, there will be no restrictions on interstate and intrastate movement, transportation of essential and non-essential goods. No separate permission for or e-pass will be required. Passengers going to airports, railway stations and bus terminals will be exempted if they produce valid tickets. Print and electronic media persons are also exempted on production of valid identity card. All government and private medical hospital services personnel such as doctors, nursing staff, pharmacists and paramedicals working in diagnostic centers and clinics are exempted. The Ministry of Home Affairs has said that it did not freeze bank accounts of the missionaries of charity. It said State Bank of India informed that Missionaries of Charity itself sent a request to SBI to freeze its accounts. The renewal application under Foreign Contribution Regulation Act for the renewal of registration of Missionaries of Charity was refused on the 25th of December this year for not meeting the eligibility conditions under the Act and Foreign Contribution Regulation rules.
The BJP, Punjab Law Congress and Shiromani Akali Dal Sanyukt will contest the forthcoming Punjab Assembly election together. This was announced by the Union Minister and BJP leader Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, who is also the party in charge in Punjab. He said a committee consisting of 2 members from each party will be formed to discuss the issues like seat sharing and a joint manifesto. You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates and lays foundation stone of development projects worth 11,581 crore rupees in Himachal Pradesh, says pace of development accelerated in every sphere. Completed section of Kanpur Metro and other development projects in Kanpur to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister tomorrow, to also attend 54th convocation ceremony of IIT Kanpur, Election Commission to review preparedness and arrangements for the upcoming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow, guidelines issued for COVID-19 vaccination of children between 15 to 18 years and healthcare and frontline workers along with senior citizens with comorbidities. Names of children between 15 to 18 years can be registered on CoWIN platform from Saturday. Night curfew to be imposed in Delhi from tonight in view of increasing cases of COVID-19. First three-day Kashi Indian International Film Festival begins in Varanasi, and in cricket, second day's play between India and South Africa in Centurion washed off due to rain. Hockey India names 60 players for senior women's national camp at the Sports Authority of India, Bengaluru. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
कोविड टीके के दोनों खुराक पाने वालों की संख्या में उत्तर प्रदेश सबसे अव्वल। यहाँ 4 करोड़ 13 लाख से अधिक लोगों को टीके की दोनों डोज देकर कोविड का सुरक्षा कवर प्रदान किया गया है।
उत्तर प्रदेश में कोविड से बचाव के लिए ट्रेसिंग, टेस्टिंग, ट्रीटमेंट और टीकाकरण की नीति से ये महामारी पूरी तरह नियंत्रित है।
चिकित्सा सुविधाओं में भी उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने नए आयाम दिए हैं। प्रदेश में कुल 97 मेडिकल कॉलेज हो गए हैं। नए मेडिकल कॉलेजेस होने से अब प्रदेश में मेडिकल की 40,000 सीट, MBBS की 35,088 और PG की 804 सीट्स बढ़ी हैं और इससे 65,000 से अधिक रोजगार के अवसर प्रदान होंगे।
सोच ईमानदार, काम दमदार, उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार द्वारा जनहित में प्रसारित।
Welcome back to the evening news. Let's listen now to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
On December the 27th, 1911, the national anthem Jan Gan Man was first sung at the Calcutta session of the Congress. It is the first stanza of the Bengali hymn Bharato Bhagyo Vidhata, written by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore.
Jan Gan Man was adopted as the country's national anthem by the Constituent Assembly of India on January the 24th, 1950.
Reverence to the national anthem is a fundamental duty in India. According to Article 51A of the Constitution, it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem.
We also remember freedom fighter Makhan Singh, who helped overthrow the British Empire by joining nationalist movements in two countries, India, the land of his birth, and Kenya, his adopted homeland. He was born on 27th December 1913 in Gujranwala district of erstwhile Punjab. At the age of 13, he moved with his family to Nairobi, Kenya.
Makhan Singh transcended the boundaries and made common cause with the African population of Kenya to take on the British. Kenya was also a centre of the Ghadar party, and Makhan Singh, Gopal Singh Chandan and Vasudev Singh were its chief organisers.
In December 1939, Makhan Singh left for India to study working-class conditions and functioning of trade unionism in Bombay and Ahmedabad. In India, he addressed gatherings in Bombay and attended the Ramgarh session of the Indian National Congress as an African delegate. Singh was arrested by the British and moved from one prison to another for the next 2 years without being charged.
On his release, Singh's movement was restricted to his native village in Gujranwala for 2.5 years. Finally, in January 1945, he was set free, after which he started working with the newspaper Jang-e-Azadi. As India was going to achieve independence on the 15th of August 1947, Singh left for Kenya.
In Kenya, Singh organized the Kenya Youth Conference and became active as the General Secretary of the East African Trade Union Congress. Singh was detained by the colonial government in 1950. He remained behind bars during the famous Mau Mau uprising of Kenya. He remained in prison for 12 years till 1961.
Kenya attained independence in 1963 and Singh was granted permanent residency in the country. Makhan Singh remained committed to challenging the politics of indifference and segregation till the very end, and had secured his place among great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela through his transnational struggle.
We also remember social activist Punjab Rao Shamrao Deshmukh, who was born on the 27th of December 1898. Popularly known as Bhau Sahib Deshmukh, he was associated with the Satya Shodhak Samaj of Mahatma Phule and did Satyagraha for the entry of the so-called untouchables into the Ambabai temple, Amravati. Baba Sahib Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar supported him in this movement.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewellery. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404, issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago. The first Kashi Indian International Film Festival began in Varanasi today. State Tourism, Culture and Charitable Affairs Minister Neelkant Tiwari inaugurated the festival this evening, while Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Anurag Thakur will be present at the festival on the second day. The 3-day festival will showcase glimpses of Indian classical music and dance, besides events on famous philosophers, poets, writers and musicians. Kashi is going to witness an extravaganza of theatre, music, culture, arts and Bollywood in the festival, which is expected to attract filmmakers and film lovers of the world to this ancient city. The festival is being organised by Information and Broadcasting Ministry in collaboration with Film Bandhu and the Uttar Pradesh government.
The second day's play of the first test between India and South Africa was washed off at Centurion due to constant rain. The opening day's play was also delayed the start due to heavy rain. After delayed start, visitors scored 272 for the loss of 3 wickets in the first test of 3-match series. Opener KL Rahul on 122 and Ajinkya Rahane on 40 were at the crease when stumps were drawn yesterday. Earlier, India won the toss and opted to bat. Hockey India named 60 players for the senior women's national camp, which began today at the Sports Authority of India, Bengaluru. The players have been selected based on their performance at the recently held 11th Hockey India Senior Women National Championship 2021. The Sensex and the Nifty today gained around 0.5%. Both stocks gained amid mixed cues from the global equity markets. The Sensex closed above 57,400 points, a report from the Business World.
The BSE Sensex rose 296 points or 0.52% to trade at 57,420. The NSE Nifty also added 83 points or 0.49% to trade at 17,086. In the forex market, the rupee appreciated marginally by 2 paise against the US dollar. The domestic unit closed at 74 rupees and 99 paise against the US currency. Gold prices were almost flat at multi-commodity exchange of February contracts. The precious metal was trading at 48,115 rupees per 10 grams in intraday trade. This is Lalema Aneja Dang for AIR News.
The India Meteorological Department IMD has forecast a wet spell across northwest, central and east India in the next 3 days. Delhi received light showers while moderate to heavy snowfall was reported in Kashmir and Sikkim. Several parts of the national capital witnessed light rains yesterday evening and last night. IMD has forecast light rainfall in Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi and Rajasthan till tomorrow. It has also predicted scattered to fairly widespread rain in Uttar Pradesh till Wednesday. Rainfall is also likely to occur in Madhya Pradesh, Vidarbha area of Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha and Gangetic West Bengal on Tuesday and Wednesday. The minimum temperature at most places in Kashmir settled below the freezing point. The Weather Office has forecast light to moderate snowfall in Kashmir during the next 2 days. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 142 crore 38 lakh today. Out of the total vaccination, more than 83 crore 80 lakh vaccine doses have been given as first dose, while over 58 crore 58 lakh doses have been administered as second dose. The Union Health Ministry said more than 65 lakh vaccine doses were administered today. As part of the nationwide vaccination drive, the centre has been supporting the states and union territories by providing them COVID vaccines free of cost. A look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature will be 9 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 22 degrees. In Mumbai, minimum temperature will be 19 degrees, maximum around 29. The city is expected to have a mainly clear sky. Chennai will have fog in the morning and a mainly clear sky. Later, temperature will vary between 21 and 30 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky. The city will observe a minimum temperature of 17 degrees, maximum of around 27. Srinagar will have light snow. Temperature will hover between 1 and 8 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be 7 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 18 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates and lays foundation stone of development projects worth 11,581 crore rupees in Himachal Pradesh, says pace of development accelerated in every sphere. Completed section of Kanpur Metro and other development projects in Kanpur to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister tomorrow, to also attend 54th convocation ceremony of IIT Kanpur. Election Commission to review preparedness and arrangements for the upcoming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Guidelines issued for COVID-19 vaccination of children between 15 to 18 years and healthcare and frontline workers, along with senior citizens with comorbidities. Names of children between 15 to 18 years can be registered on CoWIN platform from Saturday. Night curfew to be imposed in Delhi from tonight in view of increasing cases of COVID-19. First 3-day Kashi Indian International Film Festival begins in Varanasi. In cricket, second day's play between India and South Africa and Centurion washed off due to rain. Hockey India names 60 players for Senior Women's National Camp at Sports Authority of India, Bengaluru. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.